Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in this video we'll discuss about the quality of the water what we are using to manufacture concrete. Okay, so we'll see what are the standard requirements a water should have so as to be used in making concrete is we will see in this video. Okay, so first basic requirement of water is that, see, not about the composition of water. Let's not before going to such technical deeper side. First main important requirement what one should remember is that the whatever water you are using to make the concrete should be like drinking water, means even you should be able to drink with that water. So imagine how drinking water is different from the regular water, all of us know. So whatever water you are using to make concrete should be pure, or it should be free from impurities. So what are impurities? Impurities may be suspended solids, they may be some organic matter, or it may be some dissolved salts, whatever. Something which will affect the durability or the strength of the concrete, you should eliminate such kind of water. See, not only cement, we generally test cement, we generally test sand, coarse aggregate, any admixtures we are using, we will test all of them, but we ignore water. But water quality also plays a key role in setting, hardening, strength achievement and durability of the concrete. So whatever water you are using should be clean from all sorts of sugars, molasses and their derivatives, any kind of oils, organic substances, etc. So if suppose you are at a construction site and you have all the values for say suppose cement, sand, coarse aggregate, but you don't know, you are suspecting or you have some doubt with the water they are using. So at that time what you can do, if you have any doubt regarding the water quality, if you are you feel that no, this is not this water is not good, then what you can do, a primary test is that before sending the water to laboratory, what you can do on site is try to prepare set of cement mortar cubes. Okay, so prepare a set of cement mortar cubes, at least 3, with cement 1 proportion, sand 3 proportions, and the water which you are in doubt. Okay, so with these 3 mix and prepare a cement mortar and make the cubes. Similarly, prepare another set of mortar cubes with same proportion of 1:3, means 1 part cement 3 part sand, but with distilled water. Okay, so now prepare 3 cubes of the water you are going to test, and 3 cubes of mortar cubes with, or mortar molds with distilled water. So do the 7 days test for both of them. So we say that this cement is this water is good when you get at least 90% of the strength of this cubes. Means I'm what I'm trying to tell you is the strength of these average of these 3 cubes should be at least 90% of the average of the strength of the distilled water cubes. Okay, means the water what you are suspecting, the water used by making the concrete cubes with this kind of suspecting water should achieve at least 90% strength with respect to the distilled water cubes. Then only we say that this water will be useful. Okay, and if alternatively, not only based on this reliability, even you can send the water sample to the approved laboratory. And we have various tests to check the quality of water for it to be used in concrete construction, and all the tests conducted on water are done according to clause 3.1.1 of IS 3025. This is our reference code. Okay, and generally in civil engineering products, large quantity of different materials are used, and it is necessary to test these materials according to set patterns within desirable frequency of testing in order that the quality of final product is maintained. Means what does this point mean is, in any civil engineering project or in concrete construction, we use cement, we use sand, we use coarse aggregate, any admixtures, mineral admixtures, and also we use water, right? So we have to test all the materials, and the results of the test of all the materials should be desirable, or should be as per its own IS code specifications. There is every IS code for all the materials, right? It should all, the test results of all the materials should satisfy all the standards. Then only you can expect the durability of the concrete, which is our final product. Yes. So we will see what are the various quality tests we do for concrete construction on water. So these are the following tests. We have pH value test, we have limits of acidity test, we have limits of alkalinity test, I'm sorry, and next you have percentage of solids. So in percentage of solids means what kind of solids we have, means chloride, suspended matter, sulfates, inorganic solids, organic solids, all we will test. So we will test for this 4 tests regarding the water quality test. Okay, so when somebody says what are the water quality tests, you have to list out these 4: pH test, acidity test, alkalinity test, and percentage of solids. So what is the frequency of testing? Means at which time should we test the water? This frequency of testing will generally depend upon the time of your project. Okay, means how many months it is going on, how many years it is going on. It will depend on the duration of your project. And if you are using any water from various sources, see, there are chances like for a particular project you may use water from a single source, or you may use water from multiple sources. If you are using water from multiple sources, obviously you have to test the water, whatever you are getting from each source separately, before the construction only, before the commencement of the work only. Means if you are getting water from 3 sources, every water got from, the water got from every source should be tested before commencement of the project. And also once in every 3 months you have to keep checking, you have to test it. So say suppose on January 1st 2021, if you are starting your project, by 15th or by 20th December or 25th December you will finish the testing of the 3 sources. Suppose if you are getting water from 3 sources, then what you have to do? Again on March 1st, means after every 3 months, again on March 1st you have to again test the water from the sources. Okay, if you are getting water from multiple sources. If it is from single source also you should do the same thing. Okay, for every 3 months you have to keep checking the standards. Next, if you are taking water from the local municipal source, then you can test it for once in 6 months. Okay, and the number of tests for each source shall be 3. So recommended limits for concrete construction water test. So let's see what is the limit of all the values whatever we have seen. We have just seen the test, right? So we will see what are the recommended values. So what values should be there to satisfy or to say that this water quality is good. Okay, and one more point everybody has to remember is, not only we have to take care about the water which we are using for mixing and making the concrete, but also you have to be careful with the water for you are using for curing also. You can't do curing with any salt water or sea water or any sewage water. Even for curing also you have to use potable water only. Okay, what all standards the water will satisfy for mixing should also satisfy, or the same water should be used for curing also. Why? Because once you use good quality of water and prepare the concrete and leave it for hardening, and for curing you use impure water, still your concrete durability will be lost. Okay, and generally potable water is used for mixing. This all of us know. So coming to the first one, which is limits of acidity. So I'm telling you the test. So how do we do this, or when do you say that the water is in the range of acid limits? means this is having the standards, means the acid is in limit only. When we say that means, so first what you have to do is you take 200 ml of your water sample, and this 200 ml of water sample should not require more than 10 ml of 0.1 normal HCl, using methyl indicator as an methyl orange as an indicator. Means to take 200 grams of 200 ml of your sample, and you add methyl orange as the indicator. And when you are, I mean to say, when you are neutralizing the 200 ml of your water with 0.1 normal HCl solution, in the sense for your 100 ml of water, when you are adding 0.1 normal HCl solution, and when you want to check the limits, you add methyl orange, right? So you should not means methyl orange, what it will do, it will indicate the color. You will see a color change. So what this test says is that the amount of 0.1 normal or 0.1 N HCl should not be more than 10 ml for neutralizing 200 ml of water. Then only we say that the limits of acidity are satisfied. Say suppose to neutralize this 200 ml of water, you are adding 12 ml, means at 12 ml addition your methyl orange changed the color, means this is not satisfied. It should be 10 or less than 10 ml. Then only we say that limits of acidity are satisfied. Next, limits of alkalinity. So what does limit of alkalinity say? So take again 200 ml of sample of water what you are going to test, and to neutralize this 200 ml of sample, it should not require more than 2 ml, I'll make a correction here, 2 ml of 0.1 normal NaOH. So if to neutralize this 200 ml of water, if you are requiring 3 ml of 0.1 normal NaOH, means it is useless. 2 ml, less than 2 ml, then you say that the limits of alkalinity are satisfied. And coming to the pH, obviously the pH of water shall generally be not less than 6. Okay, shall generally be not less than 6. If it is less than 6 means what? It is acidic in nature. On a scale of 0 to 14, 7 will decide the neutrality. So 0 means purely acidic, 14 means purely basic or alkaline. So the water should not be less than 6. So coming to the percentage of solids, so the maximum permissible limits for the percentage of solids are, if it is an organic solid, it should be 200 milligrams per liter. Inorganic solids, 3000 milligrams per liter. Sulfates, 400 milligrams per liter. Chlorides, 2000 milligram per liter when you are using concrete, plain concrete, and 500 milligrams per liter when you are using reinforced concrete. Okay, so you can see a very clear difference. For reinforced concrete, we should have less chloride content. Why? Because we have a chance of corrosion. Next, suspended matter should be 2000 milligrams per liter. Anything more than these values, we say that the water is having high percentage of suspended solids. Okay. So the physical and chemical properties of groundwater shall be tested along with soil investigation. And if the water is not found conforming to the requirements of IS 456-2000, the tender document shall clearly specify that the contractor has to arrange good quality of water for construction. So if people are using groundwater, so naturally available groundwater, if you are using for making your concrete, that water also should undergo physical and chemical test. The composition of it should be noted down, and if that composition and that properties are not conforming or not satisfying according to the requirements of water mentioned in IS 456-2000, then the contractor should say that this water is not, underground water is not useful, we have to provide another kind of water. Okay, water found satisfactory for mixing is also suitable for curing. This point I have explained you already. However, water used for curing shall not produce any objectionable stain or unsightly deposit on the surface. So whatever water you are using should not, for curing, it should not create any deposits on the concrete. Seawater shall not be used for mixing or curing. This I already told you, and I'm telling you once again. Why? Because seawater contains salts. So salts for mixing concrete also is dangerous. Salts after hardening is also dangerous. Okay. So salts when it is having in excess, when you're adding in cement or sorry in concrete, you have chances of alkali aggregate reactions. You have chances of efflorescence. You get less strength. Even after durability also, the things repeat. And another point, water from each source shall be tested before the commencement of the work. This we have already discussed. Even though it's underground water also. Just what I'm talking is especially about the underground water. As we have talked about getting water from different sources, same point will repeat here. For underground source also, underground water if you're using also, just before starting of a project you have to test it. And also once in every 3 months you have to test it, same way. And testing shall also be done for different point of drawdown. Means for your entire project, means say if this is your entire project area, at different points you have different groundwater table, right? So at different points also you have to collect the water sample, groundwater sample, and you have to test. And you should test before monsoon and again after monsoon. Means before rain and after rain. And this water quality or the quality of whatever we are using for construction, it should be periodically monitored, regularly monitored. Why? Because it shows a bad effect on the strength. So this is all about the quality of concrete. I hope you all understood the video. For the notes of this video, please click on the description of this video. You'll have a link. Click on the link and download the notes. Thanks for watching.